Now, as we're waiting on our sauce to come together and our butter to melt down for our asparagus, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start cutting some little baby red potatoes here. Because what kind of meal is it if you have steak without a potato? It's kind of un-American in a sense, if you want. So what we're going to do is just cut these in half, and then we're going to quarter these again. You know, just a little fun here. You know, and if you have kids, you know, the hardest thing to do is get them to eat their vegetables. Dice it up real small so that they can put them in their fingers and have them in their hands. And after you pretty much cut down everything that you wanted to use as far as your potatoes go, what you want to do is just soak them in some water just for a few moments, just so that they don't start turning red and drying out and, you know, all your vitamins and nutrients begin to leave the vegetable. And be very careful with your hands because knives do cut. And they're sharp. Take this over here. Just put some water in here. We're going to let those soak for a little while. Just a couple minutes. Okay. Now, our butter for our asparagus is actually starting to do what we want it to do. Melt all the way down, turn just a little bit brown, just for a little added flavor. Now, what we're going to do is just take some basic asparagus, raw, you know, and we're just going to drop them here in our pan. Now, some people, when they cook asparagus, they like to blanch them, excuse me. What we're going to do today is just, you know, for added crispness and natural flavor, we're just going to just pop them in just raw as is. Now, what we're going to do, just add just a little bit of our white pepper again, excuse me. Tad bit of salt. And give it a couple tosses. See, our sauce is going quite well here. It's beginning to thicken. And as it's starting to boil, what you want to do is you just kind of want to just go over it to make sure that it's all even with your flavors and also your heat. And as you can see, it's thickening. Now this is about the thickness that we want. This is our desired thickness for today. Nothing too heavy, but it's still liquid. Now what we're going to do is, because we did say that this is a mushroom cream sauce, just going to add our already sauteed mushrooms in. Now they also have the flavor from the other butter that was melted down. And look at that. Nice, even, very, very tasty. We're just going to set this to the side. So, now, what would be a steak and potatoes meal without the steak? Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to focus on our steak. We're going to take our quarter-ounce steak. This is about a good pound and a half, or almost a pound, I should say. I apologize. And what we're going to do, just lightly season it. Set this to the side for our trash. Now, I know everyone's asking, you know, you didn't really talk about your seasonings here. How is this about a seasoning company and you're not using their seasonings? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to take two of the products that Gugi's Global Foods offers. We're going to utilize our Miracle Blend and also Aunt Cora's Soulful Seasoning. Excuse me. So we're going to set those to the side. I'm going to take just a little bit of basil and also a little thyme, not to be confused with thyme, hot cooking joke, excuse me. A little bit of brown sugar, just for flavor, and some vegetable, or olive oil, excuse me. So, set this here, check on my asparagus. These are starting to brown up just right, how we'd like. Turn our heat down on this as well, just so we can keep that monitored. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to already start a hot pan here. So just add a little bit of olive oil, just for flavor. Now the brown sugar will be used to caramelize on your pan here. So what we're going to do is we're going to add first our soulful seasoning, Cora soulful seasoning. And what you want to do is just evenly spread this about on both sides of the product, or of your meat here. Now, usually it's roughly about almost a teaspoon of seasoning for the entire steak. Then we're going to add our Miracle Blend, about the same evenness on each one. Add just a touch of basil. A touch of thyme. And this is where it gets fun. You know, it's a little secret about a steak here. Some people don't like to tell this, but once you do, add just a bit of brown sugar for a little sweetness and flavor. And when you do this, when you rub your steak here, what you want to do is you want to really rub it in. Get as much down as you possibly can. Put just a bit of pressure on here, because this kind of, in a sense, acts as a tenderizer as well for your meat. Now, we're going to add just a bit of oil, just a bit of our olive oil. This also is a natural tenderizer. Then what you want to do is just flip your steak over and repeat. And ladies, you know, they do say the way to a man's heart is through his stomach.